Back in 1974, Chum FM was the underground, as it was called, radio station, album rock or album music, and I worked at a top 40 station. And so I went in for an interview, and I was there with Bob Wood and Roger Ashby, and who was in the programming department at the time, and they asked if I was interested in working at Chum FM, and I said, "Thank you, but no," because there was so much music that I didn't know enough about at the time, and the guys on the air then knew more about some of the music that we weren't playing. I would rather work at 1050 Chum, and said so. And they said, "Well, thank you very much," and that was that. So I thought, okay, there's my 15 seconds of fame. That's it. It's over. And then eventually moved on to another station, and that was my career to that point. I started at Chum in 1979 when there was an opportunity presented, and it was an all-night show. And I took like a $4,000 a year salary cut to do it. It was like, okay, this should work out, I hope. I think it did. But so I worked at 1050 Chum on the all-night show. FM was at the time morphing, I guess, to play more popular music. And the style of broadcasting was also coming closer to what we were doing at the time on 1050 Chum. Ross Davies was the program director at Chum FM, and he said, would you be interested in working at Chum FM across the hall? And I said, well, yeah, I'd be interested in working there. And so you could see that their presentation was more akin to what I was doing already, and some of the people who were on the air were having problems with it. So I went from 1050 Chum, a couple of all-night shows and some weekend shows, to Chum FM, a couple of all-night shows and some weekend shows. And soon after there came an opportunity to work in the afternoons, and so that's where that started. And as FM became more, for lack of a better phrase, top 40 oriented or more pop oriented. And so that was my switch across the hall to Chum FM. And eventually went from afternoons to doing mornings with a gentleman by the name of Rick Hodge. And it was tough for me to do that because I had been schooled in short 15, 20-second bits. That's what you do on the radio. And FM, we could stretch out a little bit more. And it was quite a learning process. Rick was a great teacher, is a great teacher, I'm told these days.